Hi guys! Welcome back to our class. So for the past 3 weeks, we have been studying about changes in matter, okay? So next week, we're going to have a test, a unit test about changes in matter. For today, we're going to answer your workbook, okay? Those pages that we haven't answered yet, we're going to answer today. And then next meeting, we're going to have a review for your unit test, okay? So changes in matter, our objectives for this chapter is that we should be able to differentiate between physical and chemical changes of matter, okay? So we have to know the difference between physical changes and chemical changes, okay? We have been studying about physical changes and chemical changes already. We said that when it's physical changes, the changes can be reversed sometimes, okay? So sometimes the changes in the state of matter, the changes can be reversed or it can return to its original state. But sometimes the changes can be physical, but it cannot be reversed, okay? But still, there are no new substances formed, okay? Now, when we say chemical change, it means that there are new substances formed, okay? They produce new substance. That's why it's called chemical changes, okay? And then we should be able to describe the effects of heat and cooling on substances. We have to know the effect of temperature on substances, right? And then describe how a solution is formed. We already studied that, how a solution is formed, okay? And then explain the effects of chemical changes on substances. Last week, teacher Yuri explained about the changes, the effects of changes, chemical changes on substances, okay? So tomorrow, next meeting, we're going to have a review about this chapter. So for today, we're just going to answer your workbook. So everybody get your workbook, inside out workbook, and you open your workbook to page 57. Okay, open your workbook to page 57. Okay, so for page 57, it's challenge yourself. We're going to answer all together, okay? So I'm going to explain to you and then you're gonna answer together, okay? So number one, the question is, Mint wants to find out if temperature affects how fast a magnesium strip reacts with water, okay? She carries out an experiment as shown below, okay? So she wants to find out what is the effect of temperature in the reaction, okay? So last week, teacher Yuri explained to you that if you put magnesium strip in water, it will form bubbles, right? So there's a chemical reaction, okay? So she wants to find out what is the effect of temperature, okay? So she did 4 setups, okay? Setup A, setup B, setup C, and setup D. So the difference is that the water at setup A is at 15 degrees Celsius, setup B is at 35 degrees Celsius, and setup C is at 55 degrees Celsius and at 75 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you have to understand the difference, okay? Okay, now the question. List any 2 factors that need to be kept the same in all the setups for the experiments to be a fair one, okay? So when you do experiments, you have to make sure that there are constant, okay? So you can see that only the temperature should be different. So what else should be constant, or what all should be the same, okay? So the water level, okay? the size and the shape of the magnesium strip and the volume of water. Okay, you have to use the same amount of water, only the temperature is different, and the size and shape of the strip. Okay, so the magnesium strip should be the same in all the setups. Okay. Okay, next, the number of bubbles formed per minute tells us how fast the reaction is. Okay, the greater the number of bubbles formed per minute, the faster the reaction. So it means, it says the number of bubbles formed per minute. In 1 minute, how many bubbles formed tells us how fast the reaction, okay, the chemical reaction between the water and the magnesium. Okay, so it says the greater the number of bubbles per minute, the faster the reaction. Okay, so the more bubbles, the faster the reaction. Okay, so the table below shows the record of the numbers of bubbles formed in a minute for each of setup above. Okay, so for setup A, after 1 minute there's no bubble. For setup B, there's 2 bubbles. For setup C, there's 3 bubbles. And for setup D, there's 5 bubbles after a minute, after 1 minute. So, Mint counted the bubbles. Okay, so letter B, the question is, what can we conclude from this experiment? What can we say about this experiment? Okay, we can conclude, see, after 1 minute, because of the difference in temperature, right? Setup A is 15 degrees Celsius and it goes higher, right? So the higher the temperature is, it means that the faster the reaction is. So we can write here that the higher temperature of the water, the faster the magnesium strip reacts with the water. Okay, so this is the answer for letter B. The higher the temperature, the faster the reaction. Okay, and letter C, Mint prepares a setup. She places a magnesium strip in a test tube of warm water. Given that the temperature of the water is 90 degrees, predict the number of bubbles formed in a minute for this setup. So Mint is going to do another experiment, but this time the temperature of the water is 90 degrees. Okay, it's higher than setup D. Setup D is 75 degrees Celsius. So this time it's 90 degrees Celsius. So the question is, predict, can you guess how many bubbles will be formed, okay, after 1 minute? Okay, so if this is 75 and it forms 5, therefore letter C should be more than 5, okay? Maybe 7, maybe 8, okay? So we can accept any answer that is more than 5. You can write 7 bubbles, 8 bubbles, okay? Okay, page 57 is done. So we can go back to your workbook, page 52. Okay, go to your workbook, page 52, go back to page 52. Okay, so for the objective questions, page 52 and 53, I want you to answer by yourself, but I'm going to explain to you, okay? But you have to answer by yourself, okay? Page 52 and 53, that's your homework for today, okay? And then page 54, we're going to answer all together, okay? So for number 1, which of the following is a chemical change, okay? So you choose among this choices which is a chemical change. Okay, is it adding oil to water? Is it boiling an egg? Is it freezing a tray of water or breaking a glass bowl? Okay, so which of the following is a chemical change? Okay, number 2, which of the following is a physical change? So from the choices, you are going to select the one that shows physical change. Okay, is it rusting of nail? Is it ripening of an apple? Is it baking a cake? Or is it cutting paper into strips? Okay, remember, when you say chemical change, new substances are formed. physical change, no new substances are formed. Okay, and for number 3, which of the following is not an effect of chemical changes? Okay, last week teacher Yuri discussed about the effect of chemical changes, so you're going to look which of these choices is not an effect of chemical change. Not an effect of chemical change. Letter A, formation of bubbles when magnesium strip is added to water. Is it decrease in temperature when vinegar is added to baking soda? Is it the formation of yellow precipitate when lead nitrate is added to potassium iodide? And sublimation of dry ice to carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so which is not chemical changes? Okay. Okay, number 4. Pam pours substance A in a dish. She heats the dish at 60 degrees Celsius. After some time, she notices that the dish is dry. Okay, which of the following is true? Okay, so Pam pours water, substance A, it didn't say water, substance A in a dish, and then she heats the dish at 60 degrees, okay? And then the dish becomes dry, okay? So is it which of the following is true? Which is correct? Okay, substance A has a freezing point of 60 degrees Celsius. Substance A has a boiling point of 60 degrees Celsius. Substance A has a higher boiling point than water, and substance A has undergone a chemical change. So which is true? Okay, number 5. Which of the following is a physical change? Okay, it's easy. Which is a physical change? No new substances are formed. Heating water in a kettle, lighting a matchstick, burning a piece of paper, and baking a chicken. Okay? And then let's go to page 53. Okay? Okay, page 53, number 6. 5 fills a test tube with nail polish remover. He then places the test tube in a beaker filled with warm water that has a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. He observes that the nail polish remover began to boil. Okay, so at 80 degrees Celsius, the nail polish remover began to boil. Okay, which of the following is a possible boiling point of the nail polish? So what is the boiling point of nail polish? Okay, is it 20 degrees? Is it 80 degrees? Is it 90 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Celsius? Okay. Okay, and this is the last one for today for your homework. Okay. Number 7, the table below shows the boiling points of substances A, B, and C. Okay, so these are the boiling points of A, 89 degrees Celsius, substance B, 100 degrees Celsius, substance C, 120 degrees Celsius. Okay, so Phi heats up A, B, and C in separate beakers at 110 degrees Celsius. Phi makes the following predictions. Okay, so these are her predictions. What will happen if she boils or heat the beaker at 110 degrees Celsius. So she said maybe substance A changes into gaseous states. Substance A remains in liquid state. Substance B changes to gas. Substance B remains in liquid. Substance C changes to gaseous state, and substance C remains in liquid state. Okay, so if we're going to analyze, okay, let's analyze one by one. If substance A is heated at 110 degrees Celsius, okay, and the boiling point of substance A is 89 degrees Celsius only, it's less than, it means that substance A will turn into gas. Okay, it will boil because it's more than its boiling point. Okay, so this one, substance A changes to gaseous state. This is correct. Okay, and then so it remains in liquid state. This is wrong. Okay, number 1 is correct, number 2 is wrong. Okay, and then if it's substance B, Substance B's boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. The beaker is heated at 110. It means this is higher. Therefore, substance B will also change into gas. Okay, so substance B changes to gaseous state. So this is correct. Number 3 is correct. But number 4 remains in liquid state. This is wrong. Okay. And for substance C, 120, its boiling point is 120 degrees Celsius. But phi only hits the beakers at 110. So it means that substance C will not yet change into gaseous states, okay? It will remain in its liquid state. So number 5 is wrong. Number 6 is correct. Okay, so what's the correct answer? Okay, so you choose the correct answer, you write the correct answer. Okay, and then we move on to page 54. So we will be finished by your workbook today. Okay, and the next meeting we're going to review with your student books to prepare you for your test. Okay, so go to page 54. Page 54, we're going to answer together. Okay, so page 54, number 8. Which of the following is false? Okay, which is false? Deposition is the process whereby gas changes directly into solid. Is it correct or false? Sublimation occurs when dry ice is placed in room temperature. Evaporation only occurs at 100 degrees Celsius and water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So if you're going to observe, this one is correct, this one is correct, this one. Evaporation only occurs at 100. When you say only, it only happens at 100 degrees Celsius. But no, evaporation, we said that it can happen below 100 degrees Celsius. Any temperature below 100 degrees Celsius. So it means that the answer for number 8 is letter C. Okay. And then number 9, Chan places a bowl of ice cubes on the dining table. Okay, after 5 minutes, he notices that the outside surface of the bowl is wet. Okay, this is because why? After he places the bowl of ice cubes at the dining table, the outside of the bowl, okay, outside, it's not inside, the outside of the bowl becomes wet. Okay, so this is because of condensation. Remember, the water vapor outside, when it touches cold objects, it turns into water. Okay, so the answer for number 9 is A. Okay. Okay, and then number 10, which of the following is true? Which is correct? Okay, a chemical change does not produce new substance. Chemical change does not, so this is wrong. Physical change produces new substances, so this is wrong. Letter C, the effects of chemical change can be reversed. Can it be? Chemical change can be reversed. This is wrong. So therefore, the correct answer is letter D. The effects of physical change can be reversed. Okay, can be reversed. Okay, and number 11, Chan mixes 20 grams of baking soda and 100 grams of vinegar. Okay, last week teacher Yuri showed you a video about baking soda and vinegar, right? So which of the following will he observe? Okay, if you mix baking soda and vinegar, what will happen? Okay, is it the outside of the bowl feels warm or the outside of the bowl feels cold? And then bubbles are seen, a precipitate is formed. So remember, baking soda and vinegar, what will happen? Okay, the outside of the bowl feels cold. Okay, and then you form bubbles. Okay, B and C. And this one, the answer is D. Okay, so we already finished your workbook, answering all the pages in your workbook. If you haven't done yet, check. Okay, starting from page 49 to 57. Okay, but for today, you only need to send in the note page 52 and 53, only 2 pages. Okay, so this is it for today. Bye, guys.